If you're starting a side hustle, this is my best advice for you. After doing gig work since 2015, part-time, I've done it full-time, I've done it in different marketplaces, and this is on the heels of some saying that the golden age of working on gig apps like DoorDash, Instacart, etc. is over. Let's answer that firstly. Do I think, as a side hustle expert, that the golden age of working on these gig apps is over? Yes. I mean, you have to understand, at least insofar as 2015, when I first started, the absolute newness of it, firstly, and the crazy pay multipliers and incentives that a lot of these apps were giving. Now, that's not to say now, if you're looking at starting a side hustle, and I don't care if it's app-based or if it's not app-based, I'm going to talk about that as well. Number one, though, let's think about, let's say, app-based work first. Food delivery, rideshare, grocery, parcel, all of that. The typical kind of modern day side hustle. The gig that you want to do, is it vehicle dependent? And how many vehicles do you have access to? Because if you're a single car household, it's that one vehicle. And do you want to, I won't sugarcoat it, rapidly accelerate the depreciation of that vehicle? But the work though, nextly, consider that. What do you want to do? When do you want to do it? What kind of labor do you want to do? And thinking about the actual real world pay. If you're only free after work, let's say a 9 to 5, and that's what I did when I first started my side hustle with Uber and then Lyft in October of 2015, then you're going to be working what, 5 p.m., 5:30 until when? 9 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever it is. Who else is working from like 5 p.m. until 8 p.m., 9 p.m. on their side hustle? Every single other person that has the exact side hustle availability is you. All right, but marketplaces are different 100%. And maybe there is a good opportunity, a tourist area, Uber, Lyft, or for whatever reason, no one's really looking at Deliver That, Walmart Spark, Amazon Flex, Ships, etc. All right, well then, even if there is an opportunity, even if there is good bonus pay, like any of these platforms are like, hey, we'll guarantee this, or you do an assignment and we'll add on this, like a per delivery, per assignment bonus. Then you nextly must think about what's the average pay. And then also, maybe more importantly, what's the highest pay that you can even make on these side hustles? If I told you DoorDash, food delivery, right? What is the average pay? DoorDash has said in the past, like $25 an hour. Let's just say 20, okay? And then what's the max pay per hour? Like if you're killing it, if your marketplace is on fire, you're going to do what? 30? That's pretty great. $28 an hour. Now that's fine if you're averaging $25 an hour. And now is a good time to mention this is before taxes. As a 1099 independent contractor, save, like 25-30% for taxes. Even so, even if everything goes right, how long next, consider this, how long are you going to do this? Because I know there's stats, DoorDash again, for instance, that most Dashers, they're doing like less than 10 hours an entire week. I need you to have a plan here. And it doesn't have to be super serious, like, oh, here's a 6-month goal, a year, whatever it is. Like, if I just want to do this stuff until I make an extra $500 a month, or total, I make $5,000, remember, set aside money for taxes because I'm trying to save up for a large purchase maybe, then you might just want to hit your goal, do your thing, saving up for a vacation, whatever it is, and then just have it as kind of an option. A slow day, I feel like making some money, then you can do it. Because here's what happens. If you really think you're going to lean into this, again, just my opinion, let me know your thoughts down below. But if you lean into this, let's say the 6-month or the 1+ year range, like again, I've been doing this stuff off and on. All I do here is help you make money in different side hustles. I guarantee you, every single year, these apps will change, features change, even pay models, bonus pay incentives, and just the frequency of assignments. So if I asked you, and please, if you've been doing the gig stuff for years like me, let some other gig workers know down below, what did you make 2 years ago? 3 years ago, 1 year ago versus now? Is it the same? Is it lower or is it higher? I'm not going to answer that for you. Let us know and let's see, is it the same? As in consistent earnings, like, yeah, I made like whatever, 40K extra last year and it's the same this year, or I'm working like the same hours and now I'm making 25, 30K. What happens if the app changes? What happens if you move or even something in your current market changes that affects demand of that certain app? What happens, something that I always kind of want to remind you of, that it happens if it's a vehicle dependent side hustle. Yes. What happens if something happens to the vehicle? $1,500 repair, let's say, it's not covered, whatever it is, $1,500. Think about how many days or weeks that's going to take off of the money that you just earned. Now, trust me, I like the gig work, I like the flexibility, and I like the ease of saying, I want to do grocery today, I want to do rideshare, I want to do food delivery, I want to do parcel. I love that flexibility. So Mike, with app-based work, how can I make the most money then if I'm aware of changes? Okay, I do have a backup plan. Ideally, a side hustle business that I'm working on so I can control the variables more than just working on an app where they control most things, not everything, because you're 1099. If I'm starting a side hustle, how can I not waste my time, make more money, and keep my options open? Doesn't matter if I'm doing this for 3 months, a year, or 3 years. Number one, it's understanding the basics, because that's the fundamentals. It's the groundwork. So number one, we have a free terms and strategies guide. It goes over some of the terminology we use, dollars to mile ratio, dollars to time, positioning, and stuff like that. If you don't know the basics and you're going online with these apps and you just kind of let them send you stuff and you just take it, I guarantee if you think about a bell curve of earners, you're going to be right smack in the average or a little lower. To make the most money, you need to understand the actual trends, not only how an app works, but how it behaves in your marketplace. I could literally ask you, you should know this. Okay, hey, in your marketplace, what's your favorite app? You tell me your favorite app. What is the busiest day of that app? You tell me the day. Why? What would make it not busy? What times of day? Does it change based on events and or seasonality? If you have to stage or wait in a certain area for requests, what are the best 5 places that you typically wait? And then the same thing if I asked you, well, what happens if that app's not busy? What's your next best option? Do you drive or work on other niches? If you told me rideshare, food delivery, parcel, well, forget parcel. Let's say it's dead today. What else? Well, even better said, what's the next best performing option in your market? If you say, I don't know, I mean, it's not the worst not knowing absolutely everything, but the more info you have on the trends, and this is why, in part, we have an earnings tracking spreadsheet at yourdrivermike.com. And if you're looking to start, actually just get our starter guide as well at yourdrivermike.com. But if you don't know, then again, you most likely, statistically, you're going to fall in the middle of everyone else. All right, Mike, but you said you like opportunities as far as doing a business or non-app-based side hustles. Then what? So let me talk about that. If your side hustle is not app-based, I kind of like that better. So my example is doing YouTube here part-time in addition to a full-time job at the time. If your side hustle is whatever it is, you have your own small business, you're looking at doing social media, you're looking at whatever. So here's what helped me, in my opinion, in my example here, of managing a non-app-based side hustle. I'm going to tell you that you have to sacrifice wasted time. And I guarantee there's some wasted time somewhere. If this is your passion, I've seen it. I have seen it myself with someone that's trying to grow a business and they're wasting too much time, whatever it is, playing video games, watching TV, listening to podcasts, reading books is fantastic. I've done that and I continue to do that, but you need to take action and you have to cut out 30 minutes, an hour, somewhere in that day you're wasting time. Now, if your side hustle is not app-based, I like it because you may have more control of the pricing. Obviously, the product is your product, course, service, whatever, and the client's communication, marketing. Let me give you an example of building this channel here on YouTube. So I started January of 2017 and I was working, is that customer service at the time or sales? I think it was still customer service. Even during my lunch, I was filming some videos, or even if you don't want to do that, because obviously, think about if you're trying to sell whatever, you're trying to sell t-shirts, whatever it is, then you don't have to skip your lunch. Even though admittedly I did that sometimes, at least map out stuff, work on your business plan, work on just the business a little bit here and there, and then obviously work on it more after work. What this is going to do is give you little wins. I've talked about E3, educate, execute, expand. So in the education phase, I learned from those that were where I wanted to be, not only in business, entrepreneurship, but on YouTube as well in my case. So I learned best practices and then I executed kind of one at a time. So if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, I started to improve my thumbnails, my video gear, let's say, my editing, my whatever, channel layouts, my settings, looking at analytics, etc. Once you start to get more and more of those little wins, then you expand. You start to go bigger, maybe if you're selling a product, right? Then you open up your shipping, not just locally, but more nationally. Now, once you see some revenue come in, what you need to do is not go out and waste money and spend it on dumb stuff. You should reinvest it back into the business. So I looked at gear. I looked at advertising with Google Ads to just get my message out there faster and further. And eventually, something that's going to allow you to do more faster is delegating. I'll be honest with you, I don't like delegating. I like to do everything my way. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're working on your side business, I almost guarantee you might be the same way. Like, this is my project. This is my business. I don't really want to give part of it away. We're not talking about equity. We're just talking about task assignment. The things that you're worst at in the business, those are the things that you should outsource. And lastly, for any side hustle, if it is app-based or if it's non-app-based, this might be a change for you and your environment. I'm talking about the people, the friends, the family in your environment. If they start seeing you like, dude, you would always jump online and play video games with us from like 6 until 9, or you're watching TV, like we're not catching up on our shows. Like, you need a support system. Again, friends, family, whatever it is. And if you're not getting that support system, you need to communicate why this is an important thing for you. Again, app-based. Hey, we're trying to save up to make this vacation easier. We're trying to save up to give us the experience, whatever it is, something, or even for yourself. This thing that I've wanted for so long, I'm finally working on it, and I'm not going to waste my time, in my opinion, when I have a goal I want to reach. I know it might feel weird, especially as it's new, and you feel like you don't really know what you're doing, because I certainly felt that way, not only with the apps themselves, but starting on YouTube, like when you're brand new and you don't know what you're doing, but that's okay. Just educate. Again, watch videos like this. We have complete playlists to help you with these app-based side hustles to help you make the most money possible.